By the 5th minute, Old Trafford was ready to erupt. A straight red card for Robert Sánchez completely flipped the script of the match. From that moment, everything changed. Manchester United suddenly had a man advantage, and it looked like smooth sailing ahead. But football rarely follows the script. Chelsea clawed their way back. The game evened out at 10 versus 10, and the closing stages turned into a nerve-shredding battle. United did come out on top in the end, but this was no straightforward win. It was an emotional roller coaster from start to finish. The drama began almost instantly. In the 5th minute, Altay Bayindir launched a long ball forward. Benjamin Šeško rose highest to flick it on into the path of Bryan Mbeumo, who was charging through. Sánchez rushed out of his box to intervene, but collided heavily with Mbeumo right on the edge of the area. The referee wasted no time. Straight red. The Spanish keeper's night was over before it had even begun. Old Trafford exploded with joy as Chelsea were reduced to 10 men so early in enemy territory. The ripple effect was brutal. Manager Enzo Maresca was forced to sacrifice Pedro Neto and teenage sensation Estevão Willian just to restore balance, bringing on backup goalkeeper Philip Jurgensen and center-back Tosin Adarabioyo. Chelsea's game plan was shredded in an instant. Their possession-based approach collapsed without the extra numbers up front. United pounced, and fittingly, on his 200th appearance for the club, captain Bruno Fernandes delivered the breakthrough. In the 14th minute, Patrick Dorgu nodded the ball into Bruno's path inside the box. Cool as you like, Fernandes slotted past Jurgensen to make it 1-0. It wasn't just a goal, it was a statement. A milestone moment for the skipper, underlining his loyalty and influence at the Theatre of Dreams. And the blows just kept coming for Chelsea. Barely had they caught their breath when Cole Palmer pulled up with a recurrence of his groin injury. He was forced off, replaced by André Santos. By the 21st minute, Chelsea had already burned through 3 substitutions, the first team in Premier League history to suffer such a brutal early crisis. United weren't done yet. In the 37th minute, they doubled their advantage. From a corner, Reece James failed to clear decisively. The ball ricocheted around the box, and Casemiro rose highest to head it home for 2-0. It was a hammer blow to Chelsea's already fragile confidence. The visitors were left clinging on, pinned back, rarely able to mount anything resembling an attack as United's numerical superiority suffocated them. But just when it seemed the first half would end with United firmly in control, chaos struck in stoppage time. At 45+5, Casemiro, the hero just minutes earlier, turned villain. A reckless challenge on André Santos near midfield earned him a second yellow and with it, a red. From total dominance at 11 versus 10, United had dragged themselves back into a knife-edge battle of 10 against 10. Suddenly, the door creaked open for Chelsea. Whether or not that second yellow was harsh is up for debate, but a 5-time Champions League winner like Casemiro simply cannot risk a 50-50 tackle like that when already booked. The second half shifted the momentum. Chelsea pushed higher, kept the ball, and began turning the screw. Reece James combined well with André Santos down the flank, while João Pedro buzzed around, dragging defenders and creating gaps. Then, in the 81st minute, Stamford Bridge's men finally found a lifeline. From a left-sided corner, Trevoh Chalobah soared above the crowd and thumped a header into the net. 2-1. Suddenly, Old Trafford was tense, the roars of defiance from the away end clashing with groans of anxiety among the home supporters. Chelsea threw everything forward in the final minutes. Wave after wave of blue shirts surged toward United's box, but every time Matthijs de Ligt stood tall, clearing crosses, winning duels, and commanding the air like a wall of steel. Deep into stoppage time, Chelsea still pressed, desperate for an equalizer. But without Cole Palmer pulling the strings, their attacks lacked precision and that final killer touch. United, backs to the wall, defended with sheer willpower. When the referee finally blew for full time, relief washed over the Theatre of Dreams. Manchester United had won 2-1, but make no mistake, this was no comfortable triumph. It was sweat, grit, and maybe a touch of fortune. From a tactical perspective, this match revealed 2 very different faces of Manchester United. When Robert Sánchez was sent off, United exploited the advantage brilliantly. Ruben Amorim instructed his players to press high in zones, play directly, with pace and aggression. It worked. The Red Devils stormed into a 2-goal lead and looked set to cruise through the rest of the game. The scoreline could easily have been greater had they been more ruthless with the chances they created in that first half. But finishing remains a lingering weakness. Amad Diallo had some puzzling passes, while Patrick Dorgu was especially wasteful. Time and again he found space down the left, yet his crosses and cutbacks were wild, failing to find Benjamin Šeško even once. That lack of precision meant United never managed to kill the game off early. Then came the other side of their character, impatience and indiscipline. Casemiro's needless foul and the red card that followed dragged United from a position of total control into chaos, forcing them to retreat and protect their lead rather than extend it. For Chelsea, the early dismissal had wrecked Enzo Maresca's entire blueprint. Being forced to withdraw Pedro Neto and Estevão so early robbed the Blues of 2 key outlets for counterattacks. Maresca shored up the defense with Jurgensen and Tosin Adarabioyo, a decision that stabilized his team but stripped away their offensive bite. They survived the first half storm, but their possession game was broken. Only after Casemiro's dismissal did the balance shift back, allowing Chelsea to push higher. Yet by then it was too late. Most of their most dangerous attackers were already off the pitch, leaving only João Pedro to carry the fight. After the final whistle, both managers were blunt in their assessments. Ruben Amorim, despite easing the pressure on himself with the victory, admitted that United had made life unnecessarily difficult. Casemiro's red, he said, turned what should have been a comfortable evening into a nail-biting ordeal. Amorim stressed there's still plenty of work to do if United want to be seen again as genuine contenders. Still, he praised his players' resilience in those frantic closing minutes, calling it one of the few real positives to take away. On the other side, Enzo Maresca could barely hide his frustration as his carefully crafted game plan collapsed within minutes. He admitted Sanchez's red card completely destroyed Chelsea's structure, forcing early changes in both personnel and approach. Maresca expressed regret at having to withdraw Pedro Neto and Estevão so soon, stripping Chelsea of pace and penetration on the flanks. Still, he defended his goalkeeper, calling it a split-second misjudgment rather than a question of ability. It was a cruel twist of fate. Just as the Spanish keeper had begun to win the trust of supporters with standout performances, from the Club World Cup final against PSG to crucial saves against Brentford and Bayern Munich in the past week, he produced another moment that reopened doubts about his status as Chelsea's number 1. The problem with Sánchez has never been shot-stopping. It's decision-making. Too often he makes fundamental errors that no top-class goalkeeper should make. For United, the 2-1 victory carried real psychological weight. It was their first back-to-back home wins in the Premier League since December 2023. The 3 points lifted them into 9th place, easing some of the pressure on Ruben Amorim. Yet beneath the relief, the same old issues remain. United only looked dominant with a numerical advantage, and one rash moment from Casemiro was enough to nearly unravel the entire game. It underlined once more that this side still lacks both the tactical foundation and the discipline required to compete at the very highest level. As for Chelsea, the defeat leaves scars beyond the scoreboard. From a strong position inside the top 4, they slipped to 6th, and the consistency they'd built earlier in the season suddenly looks fragile. Most concerning of all was the recurrence of Cole Palmer's injury. So the night ended 2-1 to Manchester United, but what lingered longer than the scoreline was the chaos, the fragility, and the uncertainty of 2 Premier League giants still searching for their true identity. The race for the top 4 is far from over. But this match served as a stark reminder that neither United nor Chelsea are truly ready to reclaim their place at the summit just yet.